see.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another Marty and Clyde show. I haven't been posting a lot of videos during the mornings because I'm not back in the studio and I'm not making videos quite yet, but we're going to keep doing these Marty and Clyde shows because everybody looks forward to these every Wednesday. And well, thank you so much, Marty, for coming out, but also thank you, Yuji, for making this possible, doing the stuff on the back end so that we were able to actually do this because I can't post it with the current configuration. If you see, I'm on my cell phone in my kitchen, so that's how this is gonna go. But little preamble before we get going. This is a live show that we've been doing for Marty. It's is it 4 years now? Four
Three
years
years
now.
for
So
this
four
version of
years
it.
we.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. So we've been doing the show for 4 years, and yeah, I just want to bring it to you guys live. Actually, I was going to mention this, Marty, before we went live, but I guess we'll mention it right now. Um, we could probably move this an hour earlier than our normal time because it's quite late for a lot of people. Are you keen on an hour earlier?
Yeah, an hour earlier is fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would work. Absolutely.
Yeah, because now I'm in Central Time, and a lot of people in Central Time before were telling me, Clyde, it's like 8:30 by the time you guys get started. That's a little late. So yeah, I mean, now that I'm in Central Time, it's 8:30 for me. It's 7:30 for you, Marty. So we can
Yep.
kick that back to 6:30 for you, 7:30 for myself, and that'd be 5:30 for people on the West Coast.
Yeah, that
It's
works. I think
still
that'd be great. I mean, we do have a few followers too from Ontario and the odd one from Quebec. So yeah, everybody be happy, I'm sure.
awesome. So tonight's gonna be the last one that starts from 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. It'll be going to 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. So yeah, we'll just do it that way. But anyway, preamble is that we do this show live, but this is usually we started off as a recorded show. We would do an hour of just our political takes on what's happening this week in Canada, but also around the world. And then we go into Q&A for the second hour. So for the first hour, if we're not paying attention or it doesn't seem like we're paying attention, this is live. We're live with you right now, unless you're watching this the next day or some other time. But if you're here with us live, we will be tuning into your questions, comments, all that stuff in the second hour of the show. So for the first hour, we'll be just discussing what's going on here and now.
Actually, what we could probably do today is maybe do the first bit 45 minutes to 50 minutes instead of an hour and take a few more questions from the folks. Because me and Clyde were commenting. Clyde still kind of, yes. I mean, did you get all your stuff? Is everything you're settling in, or you're still in limbo, right? Yeah.
I'll explain. I'll explain once we get going.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah.
so Clyde's in a bit of limbo, and I just come back from setting up my hunting camp. So I just got back here I got back here 2 days ago, but yesterday was my birthday, so we had a little celebration. And on my birthday,
Happy birthday, Marty.
I wasn't quite looking at the internet, so I'm a little bit. So maybe taking people's questions would be really fun today, or
Okay.
reactions to some of the stories. Sure, yeah, yeah. So what's up with you then?
Absolutely.
Clue us in.
Okay, so yeah, let's fill everybody in. So for people who missed last week, I moved to Texas. I am now in Texas. The whole family's moved. We've situated ourselves in the Austin area in Texas, very central Texas. It's hot. We're climatizing. I mean, it's like I'll tell you what. Everywhere you go, the AC's cranked. I'm not a fan of that. Like you gotta have like a thin sweater everywhere you go. Go out for dinner, bring a hoodie, bring something because you're gonna be cold in the restaurant. I kind of like it a little on the warmer side in the house. So yeah, it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot here and humid because it's been raining. But
It's what you're
it's
used
a
to,
thing.
right? I mean, what you're telling me, I've observed it. I've worked in Texas a lot, and
Mhm.
because I used to work in the oil patch and I worked for American companies, and I remember sometimes I would have the opportunity to go to Texas in say January or February, and the doorman would be wearing like almost like a winter jacket. You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah.
for a doorman in Houston when it's 20 degrees Celsius, he was cold. And then I remember, and then if you really want to freak out those guys, when I'd visit down there in January, February, I'd be like, "Is the pool open?" And they'd look at me like I was from Mars, right? Like, we're gonna go in the pool. I'm like, "Damn right, I'm going in the pool, man. It's 20 degrees out." But they'd be like, "You're nuts." So,
It's
it's what
20
you're used to,
degrees.
right? It's acclimatizing. It's what you're used to. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, it's in the 30s every day. Some days are in the mid 30s, and I love it. Absolutely love it. A lot more sun, except for today. Today was like the first rainy day all day we've had. I guess that's some like we brought that from Vancouver or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, no. So we've situated here. We're here now. We have a lot of stuff to set up, and one of the big things was shipping our stuff down here. And let me tell you, I didn't. I went against my better judgment. I went with a buddy's recommendation instead of going with Sandro and the guys at the bridge. And what a big mistake. What a huge mistake because the shipping situation has been a nightmare for us. And I think we're finally going to get our things tomorrow, but we shipped them on the 26th of June
Of June. Wow. Yeah.
and we're
Almost
going to get them
done.
tomorrow. What's this? Was it the 16th? So 17th.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a very, very long time. The shipping didn't take a very long time. Of course, it only took one day to get to Dallas, and then it's going to be one day down here. But um, the logistics of this company that sent us, and I'm going to make a whole video talking about it because it was just a nightmare. From day one, how they try to invoice me, and then trying to get payments through to them. They didn't use regular. It couldn't just give them a credit card number and get that done. They wanted to do bank transfers, and it got really weird really quickly. And yeah, it was a nightmare. So if anyone's planning to do this move, I'll make a video for everyone to know so you can live that tale vicariously through me and don't do it yourself. Go with some reputable sources.
So what's critical that's missing? I mean, it's for your computer, your studio, right? You don't have your studio yet.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. So
Everything.
we
Yeah.
came down with what we could fit in the van, right? We came down with like the clothing on our backs and like that's it.
Cool. And how's the job?
How's the job? This is my job, Marty. I'm on
That's all you're doing
vacation and
now? You're
I'm
not even going to look for you're okay. You're going full 100% on this. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going full into it. So I have a lot planned. There's gonna be a lot coming moving forward. So there's this kind of big break in content. We're still doing the live streams, but as soon as I'm back, we're gonna be putting out many, many videos. So there's gonna be lots of videos daily. We might branch out and do several channels. We're going to be putting content out exclusive to other platforms as well. So there's going to be exclusive stuff on Rumble, exclusive stuff on Facebook, exclusive stuff on YouTube and X. So yeah, if no matter what platform you're with, we'll have lots of stuff going out for you guys. So that's going to be really good. And if you want to support the channel, the best way to do is buy merch. Buy some of the merch that we're putting out. I'm wearing some of it right now. I'm wearing the "I grab that" shirt. Supporting supporting Canada in the best way that I know how. And that's to say, yeah, get yourself some of that. We got a bunch of other merch on the channel. Just to introduce the I was Canadian shirts. Eugene's pulling all this up. And the 51st state, Trump derangement syndrome, find a cure, a lot of these different things. Put that on your Christmas list, put that on whatever, get those out to people. As well as we do coffee. We do coffee on the website. So, and that's Yuji actually, who was in here earlier. He'll be back. But he's actually the master roaster, and he's the one who actually puts the coffee together and ships it directly to you to your door. So yeah, if you want to support the efforts that we're doing, that's the way to do it. But yeah, going full time on this, Marty, and this is going to be
Perfect.
an interesting endeavor, which is great because then I'll have a lot more time for family, a lot more time for all that other stuff. So I'm really looking forward to
And
it.
and super important question. Have you been to the mothership yet, or you're putting that off?
Well, you and I went to the
I
mothership,
know
Marty.
you and I went, but I figured as soon as you'd go there, you'd probably head on down there real quick again and get your fix. That place is awesome, man. Like that was awesome.
It is
Yeah, a
awesome.
little bit
It's
expensive,
awesome. No, I
maybe.
haven't. Well, we've been really hunkered down because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't even, I didn't think of that would become issues. When you move, there's a ton of things that you're just like, oh, that's easy. I'll just do that. And then you go to do it and you're like, why they don't do it that way here? For example, driver's license. Went to go get my driver's license and they're like, do you have a car? that you want to register here? Like, yeah. And normally, like in British Columbia, for example, you have to have a driver's license in British Columbia if you want to register a car in British Columbia. So, not in Texas. You have to register and insure your car first if you're bringing a car from somewhere else, or if you have a car and you're going to register it, then you can renew your license. And then you can get your license issued to you. I had no idea it was backwards. And when I was at the DMV, they were like, yeah, a lot of people from out of state say the same thing. So I think we do things different in Texas. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that seems to be the case.
yeah. Here in Alberta, the order of operations is get an apartment or some place that has an address. And then once you have an address, then you go to the registries, and then they'll give you a driver's license. And then after that, whatever, cars, boats, register those things. But
Mm-hmm.
and actually, before you can register a car, you need to get insurance, and before you can get insurance, you need to get an address. So, yeah, it sounds like Texas maybe. Yeah, everything in Texas is different. I guess you'll learn it the fun way.
It's just different. It's just different. And the other thing, I didn't know to declare my car when I crossed the border. So now I'm gonna have to go to customs and immigration and pay a tax on the car and do all this other stuff. And it's just procedural stuff that you don't think of, that you're happy to do. You just didn't know when and where you're supposed to do it, that kind of thing. So yeah, just getting all of that stuff done and getting it all in order. I can't purchase a firearm until I have a Texas license. So I'm like kind of itching for it, right? Like that's one of them things. And
Pop quiz.
I can't. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your sentence. You can't get a gun. So what's your order of operations now? What do you want to do next? Get a car. I guess you got to register the car.
Yeah, register the car and pay the tax. Register the car. Get the driver's license. Get a gun.
Get a gun.
Get a gun. That's absolutely it. So it's like in order that way. So yeah, it's gonna go down that way. And for all those people who are thinking, "Oh, Clyde's unarmed," no, I have home security and I have all that, and so it's all good.
And I can't remember, is Texas Texas is a concealed carry state, right? Pretty easy to conceal carry. In fact, everybody I think is yeah.
So it's a constitutional carry state. So it has a little bit of a different connotation to it. So concealed carry is something you can get a permit for or a license to conceal carry. Now, you can conceal carry without a concealed carry license in Texas. Now that limits you though, because if a private owner doesn't want you to be able to come in with a concealed thing without a license, they can issue something at the front door that says you're not allowed to come in here unless you have the license to conceal carry. So they can do that. Restaurateurs, you see it on some restaurants. There'll be a sign, punishable up to $10,000 fine for entering this premises without a license. And so for those places, they just ask you leave it in the car, that kind of thing. Or if you have the license, you don't have to declare it or anything like that. But yeah, there are places you can't go. And then there are places you can't go even with that license, right? So there are certain like gun-free zones, schools, things like that. You're not allowed to conceal carry into those premises. So the best way to understand it is to actually read the law. If you want to get your license, I mean, I recommend that people get the license anyway, because you'll learn a bunch of safety, you'll learn about the law, you'll learn all that stuff in like a cheap 4-hour course that you sit through. And then you get a card, and then if you get pulled over, you can show your card with your ID, and then let the cop know that you got a gun on you, kind of thing. It's just courtesy, and it helps you. Some people don't want to do that, and you're well within your right. It's the Second Amendment right to bear arms.
Well,
we respect that here in Texas.
It's actually an interesting segue into two things. We could go with Mark Carney, or we can go with my quick story. I'll do my quick story because it's so short. I just come back from setting up my hunting camp, which is an annual event.
Oh, you talk about that. I got to show you something that I got for the front of the house. I'll just be right back. You keep talking. I can hear you in my ear.
Yeah, no. So I was just I was gone. I hunt in September, October up north, but I've been hunting in the same area for 30 years, and I set up my hunting camp around this time of year so that the family can enjoy the camp and whatnot. And yesterday was a great day because yesterday was my birthday, and yesterday was the day that the government that we found out the draw results. Right, so hunting here is a lottery. I just thought it'd sort of blended in
Right.
with guns, and I got drawn for my moose. So
Oh, good.
I will be
On your
focused.
birthday.
Yeah, yeah, nice happy birthday to me. So, I mean, as a group, collectively, we, because there's 6 of us, there's always somebody that has a moose draw, but it's kind of nice when it's my own.
Mhm.
Like last year I went hunting, I didn't have a draw, and it's noticeable. My motivations, like, I'm not going to get up at 5 in the morning and go walk 3 hours when it's not my moose. But when it's
Yeah.
my moose, then it's a whole motivation. So what did you want to show us?
Well, I was just talking
Oh,
about rights, and we all need to know what rights we have, what law enforcement has the ability to enforce upon you, but always know your rights and always exert your rights the best of your ability. So anyone who walks into my door now, from now on, will see this framed Constitution of the United States of America right on the wall as you walk into my house, because I'm so proud of this document. I think this is one of the greatest documents ever written in the history of governments and people in the world, and I'm very proud of that. So I
was
hang
that
that
a
right at the
welcome
front
gift
door.
from somebody down there, or you went and found that in
No,
a...
no, I went and purchased it. But I was like, anyone who walks in this front door ought to know that I know my rights, and anybody who comes to my front door ought to know that.
Yeah,
I hold true to that. It's amazing.
awesome. And
And
actually,
never,
this...
never, never, never give it for granted.
No, I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm happy you got it all framed, but I mean, I'd be happy with just the words "we the people." I think that those 3 little words are so important, right? They set the preamble to everything. Hey, before the question
Mhm.
goes too far, it was a great segue. Yuji, bring up that super chat, the $20 super chat from Myron, because it's relevant to the topic of guns and regulations. Oh, maybe Yuji can't hear it. Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
So yeah, Myron N says, did anyone see the gun Carney was gifted from the Turkish leader? 357 Magnum. This is a great story, Marty. Fill us in.
So Carney went. Carney and a whole bunch of others were invited to Turkey for the NATO conference, right? It's a NATO conference, and the Turkey is a well-known country for making some nice firearms. Like lots of great countries have come out, or gun manufacturers come out of Turkey. So the president of Turkey presented
Yeah, it's true.
presented all the world leaders a Turkish made, looks like an Anaconda or whatever. It's a large 357 caliber. That's
The
a
Python
maybe, something
357.
like that. I mean, that's a gorgeous gun, right?
Mhm.
Now there are some people that say there's
Yes, it
also
is.
some people thought there might have been some hidden meaning in there. When somebody gives you a gun with a bullet and your name engraved on it, I'm like, no, it's just a nice gift, right? But
Yeah.
Carney had to casually take it and immediately turn it over to a security detail to give it to the RCMP, and then the RCMP are decommissioning it. But the story went on. I've said this before. Carney is not a firearms owner. He's not licensed to own firearms, and I dare say, I dare say a quarter to maybe a third of our MPs would fail to obtain a firearms permit in this country, because to
The
get
guy
a
in
fire...
charge of it doesn't even know what a PAL or
Well,
an
it's not just that. I
RPAL or
mean,
the possession acquisition license or any of this is.
no, they don't know that. The guy, yeah, big, the chickmunk there, whatever his name is, Gary doesn't know the rules. But I'm just saying, like, as part of getting a firearms permit, you have to pass the course. But then there's a sort of a reference check, and it asks questions like, have you been divorced recently? Have you been diagnosed with a mental illness? Blah blah blah. There's like 7 or 8 questions, and if you answer no to a couple of them, you get denied your permit. Well, when I read that list of questions,
Yeah.
I often think that about a quarter of our MPs would not pass, because they're all mental to start with. I mean, most of them. So, anyways, Carney wasn't the only,
Well, and
Carney wasn't.
the other thing to mention here is he hands it to the RCMP, right? Because as if that's the people you should be giving it to. Did
Yeah,
you know that the RCMP carry guns without possession acquisition licenses?
totally, 100%. It's not
Like I
a.
didn't know this. I didn't even know this, Marty. I had a friend, Clinton Jaws, on the show. He's former RCMP, and one of the chatters asked, "Hey, did you get to keep your sidearm?" And he's like, "No, I don't have a possession acquisition license." Hey, are you kidding me? You walk the streets with a firearm, and they didn't require that you go through the training and all the rigmarole that every just
It,
general citizen have to go through? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, the RCMP go through some training, so they have their training, so they're trained in the use of it. But yeah, they don't do the additional step of doing the paperwork and getting the PAL. So once they leave, they become they well, the RCMP's not doesn't have exactly a stellar record when it comes to firearms either. They lose a lot of firearms, like the RCMP annually. There's reports that come out, and the RCMP loses like 300 firearms, right? So that's oh yeah, oh god.
Are you
If
serious?
UG has time to Google that, like number of firearms lost by the RCMP and the Canadian military annually is a reportable statistic. Like I think it's part of the
Holy
chief firearm.
crap.
Oh yeah, it's a reportable statistic. They go missing out of
You're talking
cars.
about a country with only 40 million people and a police force that's like it couldn't be that big. Like hundreds of guns every
Hun-
year?
Hundreds
Really?
of guns every year go missing. They go missing out of police cars, and they go missing out of police custody. They go missing out of evidence lockers. They go missing all over the place. Oh, did you find a story?
That's just insane to me.
Recent figures since 2000,
Yeah, you
roughly
got
declared loss. Yeah, that's just it's, yeah. Anyways,
who are the responsible firearm owners here? What the hell? The government's the worst at it.
the government's the worst at a lot of things, Clyde. Right? I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah, you and
yeah.
I are gonna agree on that one.
Oh
That's
well.
crazy though. I didn't even know that that was a statistic. That was something that yeah, that's recognized.
Oh,
Unfreaking real.
Myron. We'll go to the chats later. I mean,
Oh,
Myron's already followed up, but yes, we saw the 357. That's a cool story. So, yeah. No,
it's a cool story. Yeah.
that was last week's story, though, right? Yeah, it was last week that he went to, or maybe it was this week. I'm confused in time. So, what else happened while we were gone? Um, well, actually, there's a couple of stories. Where do you want to head with this now? What do we want to talk
Well, why
about?
don't we get into finance? Because the Bank of Canada made their announcement today when it came to interest rates, and
Yep.
they're a bit on the same page. They're not going anywhere with it. They didn't raise interest rates by any
No, they didn't
big measure.
raise.
Where is it?
It's a 2.25, so it's been there, since October. So it's almost been a year. There's no movement there. Tiff is having a hard time doing that, though. He should be. We've talked about this, right? He should be increasing interest rates because inflation right
Mhm.
now is stubbornly high. Like inflation is stuck at. Actually, listening to him talk, when he gave a press conference today after the announcement, and when he's talking, he looks uncomfortable. He just looks
Mhm.
uncomfortable because he's basically having. You can tell he's being asked by Carney and others keep interest rates a little bit low. Kind of helps a group of people, those maybe potentially thinking of buying a house and whatnot. But at the end of the day, a low interest rate just keeps dumping money into the supply side and of the supply and demand, and it's making things worse. And inflation right now is just not coming under control. I mean, the inflation's at
Nope.
3.2%. And people go, well, that's not so bad. It's like it's above the target range and it's noticeably going up. And I mean, what scares me, yeah, there's the chart. I mean, you'd have to zoom in on the tail end there. It's hard to see that the tail end is going up. Well, I guess you can see it, right? It's right there where the arrow's pointing. The inflation is going up. It's not as bad as it was during COVID, but this pattern is repeating what happened in the 1980s under Trudeau, the first Trudeau, right? The interest rates went up.
Mhm.
The inflation went up. The government lowered the interest rate too quickly, and then slowly inflation came back up in the 1980s, 90s. And the second wave of inflation was way worse than the first one. And I hope they're keeping a close eye on that. But when you listen to Tiff talk, you get the sense that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He knows
Well,
what he should be.
there's the monetary problem of
Yeah.
this too, like the trade aspect to the monetary issue. So Canada always tries to peg the Canadian dollar so that it stays just below the US dollar. And right now it's taken a big hit. It's
Mm-hmm.
taken a huge hit. Now the Canadian dollar could appreciate if they were to raise interest rates. It would
Yes.
appreciate if they were to raise
Yes.
interest rates. So raising interest rates actually could bring the Canadian dollar out of this funk. But what I notice is over time, the Bank of Canada has always followed the the Federal Reserve. So whatever the chairman of the Federal Reserve is doing, the Bank of Canada just kind of follows suit to try to keep the dollar pegged somewhere with the American dollar. I mean, America's dollar is inflating as well, just as much as every other country. And the way to look at dollars, because people will try to compare dollars and say, well, this one's strong and this one's weak. It's like literally, folks, every dollar just jumped out of an airplane in the 1970s and they're all in free fall. And it's like, well, which one's falling faster? Like, that's really the best comparison. So if you look at all the skydivers, you're like, oh, this one's way up here. It's like, yeah, but they're all falling
They're all falling.
compared to real assets. Like, and that's the thing. So the U.S. dollar is the leader of the pack, and Canada wants to peg itself close to that and stay in there to foster more trade. In a situation like right now, if the dollar drops a lot, then there's actually an increase of trade with Canada. So I don't know what their plan is. This is the whole idea of central planning. You try to work with market fundamentals and you have to work with that, and they have a backdoor deal and they have different ideas in mind and they set the playing field and they can screw you over, and you're not in the decision table. You're not even allowed to negotiate with them, but they could be
You and
purposely tanking the dollar for this for
you and I
fostering
are
trade.
Yeah, you and I are speaking the same language.
Mhm.
We have the same problem. I can't figure out which way what's the priority for the liberals and the government, because I agree. Like, I think the situation's bad and they're trying to pick the least damaging thing, right? Do we lower the
Mhm.
dollar and improve a bit of trade and brag about that? Or do we lower the interest rate and have a few more people buy houses and brag about that? But I mean, right now, honestly, everything they're doing looks like they're just kicking the can down the road, and everything's just getting progressively worse over time.
Yeah.
Housing's not getting better. The money supply is brutal. Inflation is. I mean, I can't even themselves. I don't see where they're even helping themselves. Right? There was a while where low interest rates would help them in terms of managing the debt, but I think they've given up on that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I can't read Cardi's mind. Let's just put it that way. But everything he seems to be doing right now is taking us in the wrong direction.
Well, I think they're playing it month by month or day by day, really, at this point, because it really feels like you're hanging out with a guy who just like couldn't end the party, and
Yeah, yeah,
he's had his night out, and it's the morning after, and he's going for a bit of the hair of the dog, and you're like, dude,
dude.
it's just gonna make the hangover worse tomorrow. Why are you just picking the party up? Whatever. And then then the white powder comes out, and it's bad. It's bad. And this is the real situation. Like with economies, when you have a distortion in the market, it creates a distortion. There's malinvestment, and then things go in the wrong direction, and then a market correction needs to happen, or else things don't work out. Japan's a perfect example of this. Japan had a market correction, and and as a result of this, they made basically 0% interest rates since the end of the 90s. And we're looking at like 25 years of stagnated market in Japan, where despite the fact that they have tons of ingenuity and stick to itiveness and they're great and they make great products, they still haven't bounced out of it. They would bounce out of it if they would just raise the interest rates and let the market let the people who originally made malinvestments fail and then move on. That's what Canada needs to do Right now, what are they talking about? They're talking about bailing out the investors that made condos at the top of the market. Let it all fail. Let it all fail, market correction, and sell at liquidation prices. This is how
Yep.
you cure a bad economy. They're not letting it happen. The hangover is going to be way worse.
Uh, just to lighten it up ever so slightly, we're trying to figure out what Carney's thinking, right? Now in hindsight, like just a reminder that before Carney, we had Trudeau for 10 years, right? Just a reminder.
Yeah.
UG, play the recent Trudeau video. Like show people, right? You guys know this. And some people are telling me, Marty, let it go. Trudeau's living the best years of his life. No, show Trudeau right now, okay? Okay, that's enough. We don't want to get but Trudeau is now like there's
those
the man.
Are memes, obviously. Those
are memes, right? But they're based on something real. Sure, Trudeau's dating Carrie Perry or whatever her name is, Katy Perry, and he was part of a video. But as part of his video, like he's bouncing around like an idiot. Okay, like. I mean, I turned 59 yesterday, and I'll have a little bit of fun with my daughter. If my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, for your birthday, can we, can we throw balloons at you, or can we sing a funny song?" Sure, I'll do that. But I'm not going to do something that makes me look like a complete idiot on a world stage. Trudeau is a guy who's making himself look like a complete idiot on a world stage. But it's just important to remember that. What was going through what do you think was going, you and I were critical of him when he was leading the country. And in hindsight, we weren't critical enough because he destroyed the country, and now he's giving a pass and he's doing this. So just long story short, I kind of stopped being critical in a while. Yeah, that's the video. Like seriously, right? All I'm saying here is I'm just reminding myself that I stopped being critical of Carney and Poilievre for a while because I started saying I really don't care. But when I see that, I remind myself we cannot stop being critical of these people. I cannot stop being critical of Carney because for all I know, he'll end up like Trudeau, laughing his way to the bank. And I'm not going to let that happen. So we got to hold these guys accountable. Like that's just, yeah, it's so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Well, we know this about Carney. When Carney's done in Canada, he's not sticking around.
No.
The big surprise is Trudeau, right? So like, and people are going to criticize me because I'm here in Texas and I'm commenting on this. For those people, screw up. I left for good reasons, and of course. But the guy who ruined the country with your all the economic problems that Canada has, now he's in America, dancing around, making a fool of himself in another country. This is just absurd. It's crazy that that's not at the headlines on every CBC show. It should be everywhere in Canada. This guy ruined the economy and fucked right off. Like, that's what he did. He absolutely did that.
He's touring right now speaking. There was a video of him this week where he was speaking saying the rich should be less selfish and take on less money. Like, I don't know, maybe Yuji can find that clip, but people were quick to point out, like Trudeau lecturing people on money. I don't know how to compare that to. Like
that's rich.
That's rich, right? And then Trudeau's speaking fees is $100,000 at these conferences, right? I mean, Trudeau went to a conference in he went to Finland last month, and he lectured the Finns on same thing on diversity and how to be more Finnish. But anyways. Actually,
that's crazy. How to be more Finnish. I mean, but that's what they're telling people not to do in Finland, is not be more Finnish. And this is where
no country in the world should seek advice from Trudeau. No country. Well, maybe one. Like, no country in the world should seek advice from Trudeau. Period. Especially not on culture, and especially not on. Hey, let's get off Trudeau. I want to get off Trudeau, but I want to just one last comment regarding Carney. And it's not my idea. Somebody, I think it was Table Salt or somebody else. Somebody came up with a great idea. They said that Poilievre, because you said nobody holds the politicians accountable, right? Like the CBC is giving Trudeau a pass on all this foolishness, right? Somebody brought up a good idea. Poilievre should go on a 6-week holiday. Literally just drop off the face of the earth, disappear from all social media, go fishing. Just go fishing. Yeah, who said that? It was oh, okay, you found it. I'm surprised. Yeah, thanks for finding that so quickly. And if Carney or if Polyev disappeared for 6 weeks, sure, at first everybody's like, where is he? He's not doing his job, blah blah blah. But then the CBC would have no choice. That's a great idea. If Polyev, because honestly, if you use the softwares and you weigh the number of positive stories and negative stories of one versus the other, it's completely skewed, right? Like everything Carney does is he walks on water and he's amazing, and everything Polyev does is brutal. And yeah, I think Polyev, that's great advice. Just go for 6 weeks, man. Gone. See you later, Pierre. Have fun. Go
I would
fishing.
agree, but I think the problem is he used up all his vacation time during the campaign last spring.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that's savage. Yeah. That's okay.
That deserves a moment. But like, yeah, no, take your time off here. Let the news have their moment without you to have to criticize what's actually happening in Canada. You
Imagine
don't
if
need
Trump
to
did the same
comment
thing.
on it.
Imagine if Trump took a big long golf holiday and wasn't in the news. The media would go bonkers. Like
That's all they would talk about, though.
that's
All they
yeah.
would talk about is he's golfing again today.
Yeah.
I never seen it. Yeah.
Oh,
And he has every right. He has every right to take time for himself and whatnot. But look at Trump. He's a machine. He's out there every day. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Whether you like the things that he's said he was going to do, and whether
yeah.
you thought he was going to follow through on some of those things or not.
Hey, I missed this story while I was gone. Maybe who's the politician in the U.S. that passed away this week? There was a politician that passed away, and why was it controversial that Carney said something about it?
Well, I don't know what Carney said about it. I'm a little far removed from that atmosphere, but I do know that the flags in Texas, a lot of them were at half staff for Lindsey Graham's passing. So Lindsey
Yeah.
Graham's not from Texas. He's a Republican from the Carolinas, and he served for a very long time. I have my issues with Lindsey Graham's career. Lindsey Graham was really great at times, and other times he was not very on board
Okay,
with some of
so
the
you
things that
just
I'm on
now.
board with. Yeah, so
So I think the controversy was that Carney tried to make it sound like we had lost a great politician. Was he a Democrat or was he a Republican?
no, he was a Republican.
He's
He
a
was a
Republican.
Republican, and he was very well known for
There was a
being a war
okay. Well,
hawk.
Carney tweeted something and deleted it, and I think it was because Carney. Uh, I think his first tweet was she spent her life serving the people of South Carolina, and I think that's what the problem was. I think in his first tweet, or whoever it was on his team thought that Lindsay was a girl and made so that's I think
No
yeah, I think that's what
way.
happened. So I think the tweet got deleted and then redone. So I think that's what it was. And I
Okay, so
missed it.
that's a big mistake.
Can somebody in
Holy
the comments
cow.
answer that question, perhaps? But I think that's what happened because I just saw the news when I was come back, and I'd heard that he had deleted a tweet and reposted, and I think it has something to do with that. So okay,
Okay, so I didn't catch
yeah,
that. I didn't catch that. And here's the thing, like when it comes to any politician, like there's going to be people who didn't like certain aspects of the politician, the things that they did, decisions they made. Lindsey Graham was very much along the vein of John McCain, for example. Him and John McCain actually were very into making sure getting military contracts,
oh, there
and
it
by
is. Senator
extension,
Lindsey Graham
wanting to
has
push people, wanting to. Oh boy, yeah, that's
That's
a
just a
real
staffer,
screw
right?
up.
Unfortunately, that just shows that either he's an idiot or they have staffers that are not the brightest. I mean, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So
Sorry, you were saying
anyway,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So his career was very much along the lines of John McCain. For people who know John McCain, he was a war veteran. He was also very involved in securing military contracts, and that drew a lot of ire to, was that person getting kickbacks from this stuff? And there was a lot of that. So, you know, that was a bit of a controversial part of his career. There was other parts where he was right on point. He was absolutely on point on a lot of social issues and things like that. So, with all due respect, the guy had served in in his role in government for a very long time, and people respected him for that. And so, yeah, here in Texas, I saw a lot of flags at half staff for him, and yeah, it's a very respectful
Actually,
thing that people are doing.
McCain was more than a simple veteran. I mean, he was a prisoner of war
He's a
for a long
pilot who
time.
got shot down. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's no joke, right? Like some of those guys that spent like I think he spent on the high end. I think he spent 4 or 5 years at the Hanoi Hilton. Like that's some serious service to your country. Was he also handicapped or handicapped? Was he like wounded to the point of he lost a leg? Didn't he? I think he did, or was he?
No, no, he didn't lose a
No.
leg.
Okay.
He suffered with a lot of skin conditions through his life. I think he had injuries associated with his service, but they weren't like
Yeah,
limbs
yeah.
lost. But yeah, yeah, definitely served. And the controversy was with him and Trump. And somebody asked Trump like, "Oh, but what about John McCain? You're going to criticize him?" And he's like, "Well, I like the guys who don't get caught." And that became a big thing. Yeah, I know,
Ouch. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say John. Yeah. I wouldn't say John got caught. I mean, yeah, you get shot out of your F4 Phantom over Hanoi, the most heavily defended airspace in history, and then you can't evade for too long. Yeah, that's a poor joke, but interesting. And McCain's daughter was wasn't she on The View with she was the conservative on The View? I
Yeah,
thought
she was the barely conservative. A lot of people would comment. Yeah, she was in there.
yeah.
So McCain was very well known for being not very conservative, and Lindsey Graham by extension somewhat a little, I think a little less than McCain. But
Yeah.
and people might disagree with me on that one, but so much so that when Dan Crenshaw had his career, which abruptly ended in the last primaries, Dan Crenshaw was of the same vein, and people nicknamed him Eye Patch McCain, and he hated that. He absolutely hated that because he was
This is going to
also
be
a
fun doing
veteran.
this every week. We're going to add a big. You're going to force me to watch more American politics and get more
Oh, I'm
better.
great. Oh, actually, I'm
Yeah,
grateful for that. That's great. Oh, we can make more Canadians in tune with the southern neighbors, us down here in Freedom Land. Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah, yeah. And then just lastly on that on this weird topic, who's the senator that's still alive that everybody was mocking, or is what's the story?
Oh, yeah, the Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. So why is he that close to death now, or did he post some video over the top trying to claim that he's totally healthy? What went on there? Is there a
So
story or
it's been Weekend at Bernie's for ages. Hey, Rose, do me a favor. Would you fill that with ice, please?
what a great movie that
Thank
was,
you.
Weekend at Bernie's, by the way.
It
Like we
was
need to.
Weekend at Bernie's with this guy. So this is why people are asking for term limits or at least age limits when it comes to time served in government. Because Mitch McConnell, a little more, please. Mitch McConnell was this guy he's been in there forever, and I swear he's like in his 90s. He's barely alive. Thank you, sweetheart. Can you grab me one of those cans out of there? And he's barely alive, and he's been serving in government for decades and decades, making decisions. Thank you. And yeah, there he is right there. He's still sitting in his role in government, and he's still voting on things, and he's very much not aware of what's going on. There's been many instances where
But
he's in scrums, and they're asking him questions, and he's just fading off into the distance. He looks
that's a
like
sad
Mason Verger
reflection on
from
the
the
voters,
Hannibal
though.
Lecter thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sad reflection on the voters, though, that they would still sort of just, or is it because he's been in there so long that he's impossible to displace? Is there a flaw with the American system that makes him nearly impossible to, or nearly automatic for an incumbent to get back in? That's what it would seem like, right? I mean, Nancy Pelosi was another one. How
So
long was Pelosi in there for? Like 60 years at least?
Pelosi was in there for far too long.
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is no one's going to vote against the Republican in that riding. And so it's a Republican riding. The only way to do it is have a good challenge in the riding during the primary. And with some of these ridings and some of these politicians, there's so much money
Yeah.
in keeping those people in that riding or in that district, the congressional district, that they can't get enough money to run against this person because it's the primaries, the primary elections. Now, remember, primaries are mandatory before every federal election. So Mitch McConnell would have to go up for reelection. And that guy's not showing up. This is
No.
money pushed into making sure he stays in there. And same with Nancy Pelosi, who's in California, and a number of other
Yeah, the
politicians.
and the numbers in the US are like, sure, they got 10 times the population, but the dollars per vote spent by politicians there is about 10 times what we spend. I think it's even more. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Like here in Canada, it's about $10 a vote. Like that's the budget. When you look at
Yeah.
the $30 million spent by 30 million, well, each party, all three of the major parties only spent $100 million altogether, right? 30 each in the last election, and then 5 million people come out, kind of thing. So you do the math and you go, wow, it's like, it's $8 million a vote. The Americans are into billions, right? Like what did Donald Trump run on? Like his campaign was, it's crazy. It's a hard to
Or
phantom
couldn't tell
number.
you.
What's that?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I know that the numbers
Yeah,
has to be astronomical. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy. And then you factor
And
in like they have CPACs or super PACs down here in America. They're called something else in Canada, and they're legal there too. But super PACs are just foundations that are run by private citizens that want to support a candidate. And you can do that, and you're not associated with the campaign. You're just a private citizen that's enthusiastic about a politician, and you can run your campaign and you can get donations from people and run these campaigns, and it's totally legal.
yeah,
So like that's
here,
a lot of money that runs into those too.
federally, I don't know what we have, but here in Alberta, provincially, we have something called third-party advertisers, and all of a sudden, everybody's hearing about third-party advertisers. Nobody had really heard about them until recently, but now
Mhm.
that there's a referendum, everybody's setting up a third-party advertiser. But each advertiser is only allowed to spend to sponsor some up to $400,000 or 450. I mean, you don't spend, like, that's nothing. Uh,
Oh, it's
if I
nothing,
were
but you could have a bunch of third party
Yeah,
advertisers.
but you need them all coordinating, kind of working in favor of a candidate. But I just look like here in Alberta, the independence referendum is next October, and there's 12 third-party advertisers working to promote the referendum. Well, the 12 of them, between with each of their $400,000, that's $4 million. Sure, it sounds like a lot, but $4 million gets you nothing, man. It gets you
Oh yeah.
it gets you a commercial. Well, it doesn't even get you a commercial on CBC or CTV because they won't even accept the money and promote anything to do with independence. So you got to go to, what do you do? Anyways,
Oh yeah, Marty, like $4 million is something you'd probably see in a small county, and in the primary race here in America,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we're talking the primary, we're not talking the general election. It's the primary, just the party level, $4 million to try to get that guy elected. That happens all the time. But the really really cool thing is in the last primaries that just took place in the spring here in Texas, a lot of things changed. It was really good. The 23rd district, Brandon Herrera won. Whoop whoop for a fellow YouTuber who actually won the primary to be the Republican candidate for running for Senate. And is it Congress? I think he's running for Congress for the 23rd district. So he's up for election in November. We'll watch that happen. Dan Crenshaw primaried out of his seat. He can't even run unless he wants to run as some independent, and that's not going to happen. So Dan Crenshaw, aka Eye Patch McCain, not
yep.
even in the contest at all. So a lot of good things can happen, and this is what I was trying to say to Canadians: get involved in your party politics because you don't even realize how corrupt it is. Push for primaries before every election. This is something that Javier Milei brought in Venezuela, or sorry, in Argentina recently, And this is something that they didn't have, and now they have that. It's part of their constitution now. So we should be pushing for stuff like that. So Canadians, I recommend pushing for this. Obviously Canadians would prefer to have an electoral college like the United States has. That's why they voted Justin Trudeau in, and he didn't do it. But primaries before every election, I think would
Yeah.
be a great thing.
So what do you do when there's a primary and there's still only one candidate, right? I guess then it's still legit. I mean, that's a separate problem. But the problem we have here is we still have it'd be an interesting statistics, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say about a quarter of the ridings federally are uncontested. And then like some parties even have a hard time.
Marty,
like last year,
it's dirtier. It's dirtier than you think, Marty.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and this happens in all the parties, and the conservatives are not even an exception on this one. And I want to stress this. I know someone who did all the legwork and was ready for the primary election in British Columbia. He was a veteran. He served his time. He served his community. He fundraised for his community. The people in the community loved him. He was ready for the primary election because there was someone stepping down. The party waited until it was too late for the writ to be dropped for the election to happen, so that they could go into a selection process rather than going by their own constitution and going through an electoral process to elect who the people of the community want to represent. And this is so bullshit, Marty. Like I can't explain this enough, that they can do this, and they can do this electively because they knew an election was coming. You talk to any of
actually it's a very timely
they knew exactly what was happening.
It's a very timely topic. You're right. I mean, look at federally, the Liberals did it at the last election, right? I mean, Carney disqualified the person that was trying to run in his riding. But
Marty, they prorogued Parliament, so they could have made it possible for this guy to run in his election, but they didn't, because they wanted to sell the ticket to somebody else. And
totally.
and money's exchanging hands, Marty. It's dirty. It's dirtier than you think, and that's what sucks about all of this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty dirty. I mean, if it's dirtier than what I think, then it's really dirty, because I already think it's pretty dirty. I mean, and what I was going to say is locally, it's a relevant topic, because we have an election coming up a year from now in Alberta, and people are starting to line up for these. There won't be uncontested seats in the next election, right? So there's a movement to make sure that, like, conservatives in Alberta are pissed off at the referendum and everything else. So plan B is sort of like to try and retake control of the party, right? And so we're trying to put independence-minded candidates everywhere, but that's what we're learning right now along these lines, is that, like, if I put in my name for a riding, because they said that, hey, Marty, are you willing to run? I'm like, I'll run. I'll show you guys what will happen if I run. I will get disqualified. There's no way on this God's green earth that they will accept me. They'll find an excuse. And so then somebody brought up an idea. It's like, well, then do it. Let's see what that excuse is. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So people are working on trying to convince me to run in a nomination race to see if the Conservative Party would accept me, and they want me to, as a guinea pig, to see under what terms would they disqualify me, right? Because I guarantee you, I'm like, if you need 50 signatures to qualify, I'll get 700, right? And then if you need to raise money, I'll raise money. So it'd be interesting to see how they disqualify. Anyways, to be continued. I haven't decided. I mean,
in the last election, let me just say that I heard this from a lot of insiders, that in the last election, prior to the last election, during the nomination process for all the candidates that would run in the Conservative side, the Conservatives felt that they had such a shoe-in of a win that they didn't care about who ran in each riding, and they actually put a lot of these ridings up for sale. The positions were up for sale, and a lot of people got in to run, not because they were the people's choice. It was because it was the party's choice of who went into those positions, and a lot of them lost. So that's crazy.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. Listen, I mean, like I said, actually, we almost did an hour. We can squeeze in another 5 minutes of topics, or we can sort of transition and start part two of the show. What do you want to do?
I say let's just transition. In the transition, I don't know what you're drinking tonight, but I had to grab these. I had to do this, and I don't know if you recognize this. Do you know this?
No, I do not know that.
Okay, so this
It's
is
a
the
cow.
slogan.
Obviously, it's a cow trying to convince somebody to eat more chicken or something. What's the joke? Is it Far Side? It looks like the Far. Oh, is that Chick-fil-A or whatever? No.
It's Chick-fil-A. It's the
Okay.
funniest thing ever. So they had the other day we go to because we're like, oh, we're busy. We didn't have time to grab dinner. Like, where should we go? We'll just grab something quick. Kids, what do you want? And they're like, Chick-fil-A. Because like it's the greatest thing ever. Like Chick-fil-A is by far, and a lot of people brag about it, but it's still underrated. It's just such a great place to eat.
Actually, before we
Best
transition to the
chicken
last
sandwiches.
phase of the next phase of the show, there's one more
Yeah.
story we were going to cover, right? And you just
Okay.
reminded me the restaurant story. So, queue up, UG, queue up. The Dunkin' Donut wants to come back to Canada.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
just
once
queue
you've
that
queued that
up.
up, I'm just gonna explain this real quick. So they
Okay.
had their customer appreciation thing. Yeah, cue that up. Just hold off. I'm gonna keep us on the big screen. So they had their customer appreciation day, and I went. We went to go in there. It was so busy, and everyone's dressed up like cows at Chick-fil-A, and we're like, what's going on? And it turns out they had this thing where if you show up wearing a cow outfit, they'll give you, an entree or whatever for
Smart.
free.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
super smart. And it created this big buzz around the place. Like the whole strip mall was like full of people wearing cow outfits and honking and doing all this stuff. And it's great. It's actually a Christian organization. They don't open on Sundays. They're very family oriented for a fast food place. It's amazing, and everybody's super pleasant at the place. Um, anyway, they do the styrofoam cups, which I freaking love because in Texas everything sweats. I know I've been to Alberta and nothing sweats in Alberta because it's dry as a bone,
Yeah.
but you get a cold drink in a thing. I want it in a styrofoam cup with a plastic straw, my friend.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
just,
jealous.
it's the most, like, it sounds so like, why are you appreciating something so normal? Because it's fantastic to me. Once it's been pulled away from you and you've been banned from having it for stupid reasons. I wouldn't even say for no damn reason. It's
We
for
don't.
like idiotic reasons.
We can't even get
When you get it
styrofoam.
back, it's amazing.
We don't even have styrofoam cups for coffee. It's always paper cups and whatever. I remember when you had styrofoam for coffee. Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
Interesting. No, the last quick story was about so Dunkin' Donuts is coming back to Canada, and sorry we took so long. So Dunkin' Donuts is a franchise that used to live here, but then got knocked out of business by Tim Hortons. And lately,
Yeah.
Tim Hortons, like I got this is how bad Tim Hortons' reputation is terrible right now. And just a quick story: when I was collecting signatures on the side of the road in winter, I had a lot of great supporters who would come by and bring me coffee, right? And they brought me a Tim Hortons coffee because I was close to Tim Hortons. And I'd post pictures, and every time I posted somebody a picture like that, I would like people would go, "Oh, how do you still drink that shit?" Stuff like that. I'm like, "You're missing the point, folks. I'm posting a picture of a supporter who, if somebody brings me a coffee or a beer that I don't like, I'm still going to drink it. I'm not an asshole, okay? So when a
Yeah,
supporter brought
exactly.
me a Tim Hortons, I will drink it. But that said, I tried to go to Tim Hortons the other day. Me and Karen were driving. We were on our way north. This happened on Thursday after when I was heading north to go hunt, and I was hungry and I pulled into Tim Hortons. I couldn't do it, Clyde. I couldn't do it. I was standing at the counter, and I was like looking and we're like, okay, the wrap looks okay or whatever. I'll order one of those sandwiches. And when I watch the guys, because it's open counter and you can see behind the counter, like he's opening little drawers and pulling out meat and putting it on something and wrapping it and putting it in a nuclear microwave or whatever. And as I was watching him, I said to Karen, I'm like, I can't do this. I just, let's like, my second worst choice is like, there's a Subway down the road. I'd rather go to Subway than the Tim Hortons. Anyways,
I
like,
actually really like Subway. I like Subway. I think Subway's great.
They're again, it's well, the Subway's better, but it's who's serving you at the Subways these days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those. I'm not
Yeah,
always in the mood for like to talk to a sandwich artist, and half the time I'm like, if you're the artist, just make the sandwich. I don't want
just
to tell you what's on it. Like,
yeah.
that's my take on Subway. But I do like Subway. But so
Anyways,
here's a funny story. I'm driving down from Canada to Texas, and we stop at all these little towns, and we go into every once in a while we stop at a fast food place to grab a coffee or a this or that because it's what you do when you're on the road. And I remember doing this several times along the road. Stop at a no, there's no Tim Hortons, but you stop at a McDonald's. Can I get a coffee? Can I get a hash brown and a McMuffin? And I'd say to the wife, when they go to give us the food, I say, "Did you notice something? Did you notice something?" And she'd be like, "What?" I said, "They're all American.
oh yeah, yeah.
Every one of them. They're all American." And guess what? This is what Dunkin' Donuts is exploiting. Dunkin' Donuts is exploiting this exact thing in Canada right now. Tim Hortons has been number one with A&W. A&W and Tim Hortons, the two top lobbyists for the temporary foreign worker program, along with the LMIA the labor assessment, whatever for immigration.
Market labor assessment, or labor market LMA, labor market assessment. Yeah, yeah,
That's it for
yeah.
immigration, and then lobbying the government to subsidize those people's wages so that they could have them come in, work instead of Canadians, and pay them less money because the government will subsidize $3 of their wages per hour. This is insane. And right now, as they're rolling out pizza, that rubbery pizza that's microwave that nobody wants to eat, and it's a huge failure. Why would you want Tim Hortons for a damn pizza,
I'm
rubbery pizza, when
yeah.
there's all the other places that make just fine pizza everywhere
You're
else?
preaching to the choir. So, but and interestingly, Tim
Okay,
Hortons now
but
there's
so
yeah.
here's the thing. They're exploiting the fact that at this moment in time in Canada, there's a 14.7% unemployment rate for youth. And Dunkin' Donuts is like, we'll come in and hire all Canadians. We'll hire nothing but Canadian youth and give them jobs. And what is
Yeah,
Tim Hortons going to do? Play? What are they going to do? Are they going to play the "but we're Canadian" card? The Brazilian corporation that bought out Tim Hortons all
they're kind
that
of in
long
trouble
ago.
right now. Yeah, yeah, no, I think they're kind of in trouble. And then because the other thing that popped up recently is a Tim Hortons whistleblower line, right? There's a lot of employees that are finally blowing the whistle because Tim Hortons is going out of its way to say, "Oh, we've put an end to this practice of hiring temporary foreign workers." It's like, dude, let me take a picture of your staff. Click, click, click. Like, no, you're not there. But anyways,
No, not at
yeah.
all.
You're making me hungry. Let's go on another topic. So
Well, I want to put one last thing to this. Boomers. Boomers in Canada, you think that they're nationalistic, you think that they care about you and your country and your countrymen and all that stuff. You think that they voted for the Liberals because of national pride. They voted for the Liberals for their equity. They didn't vote for national pride. They're not going to choose Tim Hortons for national pride. And if a Dunkin' Donuts moves closer to them than a Tim Hortons, you bet your ass they're going to be at Dunkin' Donuts. They're not going to go to Tim Hortons. That's what's going to happen. And that's what's going to end Tim Hortons. Dunkin' Donuts, an American franchise with better ideas. That's what's going to happen.
I just hope they have better donuts because I like a good donut. But Tim Hortons, same thing.
Sure.
It's not donuts. It's yeah. The only yeah. Anyways, different topic. The only thing I drink at Tim Hortons
Marty,
is
I
yeah.
know you're making you hungry, but I had a donut the other day. I don't normally eat donuts, but I had a donut at a donut place and it was a croissant donut. It was like a donut, but a croissant at the same time. It was like
Was
a
it
donut made
flaky?
with the croissant bread. Yeah,
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
and then it was glazed like a donut, and it had a hole in it.
Cool. My grandmother
I'll
made
send you
donuts. If
one.
she was still alive, she'd make me donuts. Right on. Well, let's transition. Let's go see.
All right, let's get over. Let's get over. Let's Yuji, come on in here. Read some of these chats to us.
All right, where do we start? Very top, right? Trying to get back to the top here.
It's a hot day, so my kids are coming in and out of here, grabbing cold water.
Yeah. This first one, money for
What is it
charity.
then?
If all else fails, Bucky's pays $21 an hour for overnight bathroom crew. I think this is for you going full-time YouTube. Worst case scenario, you could go to Bucky's.
Money for charity. You know who that is? That's my good friend David. David
Ayala.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. Bucky's, absolutely rock star of a company. Homegrown here in Texas. Okay, kids are gonna cry, slammed into a door or something.
No.
Bucky's homegrown business here in Texas, and they're claim to fame. They have the most gas stations, like the most gas pumps, and they have the biggest place with the best bathrooms, the cleanest bathrooms in all of America. And guess what? They hire people and they pay them good wages, absolutely fantastic wages. You can start at Bucky's for $21 an hour. We saw, like, I took a picture of the sign when I first came and visited, went to a Bucky's. I couldn't believe it. It's $21 American per hour.
American.
I don't know what
Wow.
that translates. Yeah, I don't know what that translates to. And this is plus benefits. And when I say benefits, I mean plus medical, plus all of these things. They take care of their people. And that's how you get good staff, when you take care of your people. That's exactly how it works. So yeah, nothing but the best for the best. Treat your people good and they'll build you up with you. You know what I mean? Like that's the way to look at it.
Okay, I got Myron's for $20. Says do some reviews on Texas barbecue.
Yeah, maybe I need to do like a Clyde extra channel or something. Like just all about, look what I found in Texas. This is a great.
Well, and then
thing.
when it comes to Texas barbecue, you wouldn't go to any kind of you don't do franchise. I'm sure there's a couple of good Texas barbecue franchise, but at the other end of the spectrum, I mean, there's a million mom and pop shops that are all incredibly amazing, right? Like that's what you would. There's a genre there. I'm sure somebody's already doing Texas barbecue reviews. Yeah.
Oh, there's tons of channels on it. But like here in Austin, like in the Austin area, I know there's like a Styles barbecue close by. There's Terry Black's, which is a franchise that has like, I think they have like 3 locations: Dallas, Waco, and here. And then you have a lot of mom and pops. But then below that, you have like a lot of like little food truck style barbecue places, and they're awesome too. So yeah, there's so much to explore.
I got Myron's for another 20. Says Carney probably gonna hit the side of $1 million barn the Trudeau government built. I think that's for the handgun from the Turkish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, he probably hit civilians.
They built like a barn.
That's what he
with solar
seems to
panels.
do. Every action he
That was
makes tends
Trudeau
to
built a
harm
big
a lot of people.
Trudeau had him build a barn at the cottage. Like he wasn't staying at 24 Sussex. Trudeau was staying at the whatever the cottage was, and then he had him renovate that. By the way, we never even covered that last week or this week. Maybe in the future we'll cover it. But they finally announced that they're going to do something with 24 Sussex, the Prime Minister's house. They're having a contest to see who. Yeah, no, they're having a contest to see who can redesign it, and then it's going to be a $50 million project. Like they're going to build a house for the Prime Minister for $50 million. Like that's crazy. Just put him in a house somewhere.
Just put them in one of those tiny houses that they're building for homeless people over in wherever.
Yeah, that'd be a conflict of interest because it's Brookfield.
That's the only time they would pipe up about the conflict. I'm sorry, you couldn't do that. It's a conflict. Okay, you got me with that one. That's hilarious.
Got my own friend at 20. Says there's a YouTube video out there of a skinny girl trying to fire a deal. Gets hit in the forehead from the recoil. Betting that would be carny if you ever tried.
You know, that girl is very lucky because have you ever seen the double tap that happens sometimes
I've seen lots of
from recoil?
yeah. Or
I've seen lots of videos where people, even revolvers, where like that whole double action or single action, uh, even though it's heavy and all that, it still goes bang bang, a second bang on the recoil. She was super lucky. If you ever watch the video, if everyone catches the video, there's no other rounds in that magazine because it full on turns back on her and ding in the forehead. That's sketchy. Oh, like you watch it and cringe so bad.
And shooting revolvers in general, the other problem with a lot of big caliber revolvers is that a lot of fire comes out the side, right? Like that cylinder, like there's flames. You burn your hand. By the way, while we're talking about this, Yuji, find the
use a finger.
find the video that went viral this week of the Russian guy firing the machine gun, and he spins the machine gun around and he almost kills the instructor. Like it went viral on the internet. It might be tough to find that one, but some big guns, man. If you're not
probably
prepared.
see it on Brandon Herrera's channel. He does every once in a while. He'll do a Darwin Awards where he shows like all like, sketchy things people do with guns. It's crazy. Actually, you know, he's another good channel.
Look
yeah,
at
let's watch this.
That's a meme of it, or I don't know if that's the real thing or that's part of it. But that's it. That the thing spun for. But actually, and we'll keep talking. Find the buffalo. Find the. We didn't even talk about the. There was a few funny things, right? The guy in Yellowstone who got tossed in the air by the buffalo. A big bison tossed a guy in the air. Like that became an instant meme.
I saw
too.
that video.
Yeah. Poor guy's lucky.
Oh, I didn't know that was recent.
Oh yeah, that was this week.
I didn't know that was recent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy's lucky to be alive. Those things,
he's injured. I think he's
carry
injured.
you
Make no
shreds.
mistake, that guy's injured. I mean, he was old and frail. Well, maybe not frail, but he's injured. Like he got no ifs, ands, or buts. He got injured. I mean, it's not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny. I mean, he's injured. Like.
So it's someone I've talked to who watches the channel quite a bit, and I spoke with him. He actually was involved in raising bison, and he talked about the injuries he sustained and his family sustained raising bison, and just the injuries that they cause to each other. Like those giant spikes that the horns that they've got are freaking deadly, and when they scrap. He told me, he's like, yeah, they'll rip the other guy open and his guts will hang out. Like they're totally disemboweling each other every time they scrap. So like
I hunt and I live in the country. So, and I've seen all the animals. I've seen moose up close. I've seen elk up close. I've seen cows and big bulls up close. Nothing compares to an enormous bison. When you see a true big beast of a bison, when you see a 10-year-old male bison, they are an impressive animal. That's what that thing was. That was like that guy got tossed in the air. That bison would be able to literally flip a truck, not flip it in the air, but a bison put his head down and push like that. He could flip a minivan or a car easily. Like they're just beasts of animals.
Oh yeah,
beasts. Yeah,
they're crazy, crazy. And then with like that sharp point on either side of them. They're doing damage every time.
Let freedom ring.
Oh, did we lose your audio?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, spare keys.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Now. Yeah. No, I just had it muted. Let freedom ring. Berta Proud Dad. Berta Proud Dad, no. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but yeah.
Oh, Berta Proud Dad? Is this like a shout out for Berta Proud Dad? Yeah.
Must be. Sure. Yeah. Actually, there's a guy who's thinking of running for politics in Alberta. Berta Proud he's seriously contemplating it, But then I'm going to see him on Saturday. I'll get to talk to him about it a little bit on Saturday. He's thinking about it, but then he'd have to shut his channel down. There's no way Danielle Smith would let him be as vocal as he is, and I think that will make him reconsider. So it's we'll see.
Yeah. Says Angela Jenner, adult should act their age. Trudeau is a man child.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Jordan Peterson
that's
always
an
said it, right?
understatement.
Jordan Peterson said that Trudeau suffered of Peter Pan syndrome. That he ran as prime minister just to show that he could, and had a fun time with it. I was always honestly surprised that he lasted as I thought he was only going to do one term, and then move on to other things. That he's more interested in playing around and surfing than he was in running the country. But he
I thought he would, be a national embarrassment, and he was, but I thought it would end with his prime ministerialship. I didn't realize that it would continue to be a national embarrassment into his
obviously
retired years.
Yeah, and he's narcissistic to a whole new level, right? So when people are actually making fun of him, he perceives it, I think, as attention. And I mean, as a narcissist, they love attention, and he got a shit ton of attention. There must have been some perks too, obviously, right? Like he just liked playing dress up, going to parties, and drinking booze on the private jet. I mean, I don't think he particularly enjoyed making policies or sitting in the House of Commons. Carney sure as hell doesn't seem to enjoy that. Carney's got an even worse track record than Trudeau as far as attending the House of Commons. But yeah,
well, they have a job to do, and ruining Canada ain't gonna get done by itself.
Yeah, Maroons for another 10. Trudeau always looked like an idiot. I would even give Katy Perry a second look. She walked past me, but he likes to grab attention somewhere. You can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
You just said it, Marty.
Yeah,
you just said it.
Got Maroons. Let's get the likes up. Membership available if we start clicking.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps out a ton. Things are down a little bit right now, and that's because I haven't been posting for a few weeks. So, and then on top of that, I was in Japan for a month before, and yeah, things are all over the place. But we're gonna get right down to a schedule, and things are gonna be awesome moving forward. Don't worry about it.
We get our weekly joke about
the guy. Vancouver guy here again. So if you could do the liberal math and my ideas make sense. Point Roberts sees 1,300 awesome people, and Quebec has 9.1 million Frenchies. Easily a fair trade. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, do it. No, America doesn't want the Frenchies. No thanks. We got the Cajuns, and they're cool. They kind of got over some of the other hang-ups, and they moved past them.
Yeah, we got Gray Fox for $2.79. First thing to get in Texas, Chick-fil-A.
So that's how you say the name of that restaurant, Chick-fil-A, like or Chick.
Yeah,
is it a play on
Chick-fil-A.
word? No, it's Chick. It's chicken fillet. I guess it's somehow or other. The first time I ever saw that name, I thought it was like. It's going to sound terrible, but I thought it was like a lesbian restaurant or something like that. Like something about the name didn't like. I was like, what the hell kind of name is that?
I love it though. That's their slogan: is "Eat more chicken," and it's cow print.
Yeah, well, that's you knew the Far Side, right? Who created the Far Side? What was his name?
Scott Adams.
No, Scott Adams was Dilbert. The Far Side was
that was Dilbert, yeah.
Somebody else. But the Far Side, that's the kind of joke that's a Far Side joke. That's truly a Far Side joke where a cow would have a tattoo like that on there. I bet you that comes from the Far Side. I bet you that comes from
maybe.
What the hell is that?
Gary Larson.
Gary Larson, right? Gary Larson created Far Side cartoons are always extremely clever, but you had to look at them for just a brief second once in a while to try and figure out what was going on. And then once you got it, you couldn't stop laughing. He was a great observer of life. So was Scott Adams. Actually, he passed away. He left us about a year ago, I think, or maybe 9 months ago.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spare keys. Just
Guns, yeah,
Yeah.
guns. Well, yeah, I don't know how much I can show off of guns on my channel before I get banned. Maybe again, it's like a whole thing of like, do I start another channel to talk about a different kind of thing? I'll have a lot more time, so I'll be able to do these things. But at the same time, one of the most performing videos on my channel is me going into the Waco. It's called the Republic Gun Club, and having an interview with the staff there, just talking about misconceptions that Canadians have about American gun laws. So yeah, maybe I'll do a lot more of that stuff. Just go talk with people about guns, how it works down here. Even with my wife, like she's Japanese, lived in Canada for a very long time, and had like the craziest misconceptions about guns in America, and just thought like, oh man, they're willy nilly about guns, crazy. And we get down here, and everybody's very responsible. It's not crazy like people think. Yeah, you have access to guns. Like it's great. It's great that you have access to guns, and more people have access to guns, not just criminals. That's probably the biggest plus. And yeah, you have the right to use them as well, and that keeps people polite, perhaps, or keep people from breaking into your house at night. That's a nice thing,
Hey,
as
what's
well as just there. It's a fun hobby, right?
yeah? What's Texas state motto? Is it like ours? Is it
Well, it's the Lone
is-
Star State. That's the motto.
is that what it says on the license plate? I thought it was like strong and free, similar to Alberta's. Okay, Lone Star State.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Devanger for 22 months, member for 22 months. Imagine having primaries in Ontario and being able to get a Liberal light Dougie out.
That's the solution. That's the solution to these problems. If you had primaries mandatory before every election, and this is both parties or all parties, you're required to have a primary election, so you choose your candidates and you can get incumbents out. Incumbents always have a leg up. Like, let's just be straight about this. Even in a primary, an incumbent has a leg up, but somebody could come in and primary those guys. Doug Ford is a perfect example.
Yeah.
People in Ontario reluctantly voted for Doug Ford because they wanted a conservative government, but they didn't, they didn't want Doug Ford, and that's the shame about it.
Yeah, I have Angela Jenner for 5, says need to get rid of the monarchy, and then we could bring in the primary requirement.
Yeah, well, 1776 really helped us out down here. I don't know what your guys' plan is. Yeah. Ask, please.
Be big for.
Hang on, just on that topic. It's just because I like to add. It's interesting that Alberta is contemplating becoming an independent country, and I thought that, as a matter of fact, that nobody would want us to be anything but a republic. I'm surprised at how many people are pro-independence but would still want to keep a connection to the monarchy. I guess loyalists. Oh, it surprises me. I mean, it just surprises me. Whoa. And the Empire loyalists and people like that, our loyalty to the crown runs deep in some areas. I mean, I'd be okay with keeping the Alberta flag has the George Cross on it, and I'd be okay with keeping that as a link to our past, as a link, as a we are sort of Anglo-British tradition. But I'm just genuinely surprised. Some people really love the monarchy.
You know what I really like? I like not looking at the freaking queen or the king on my money. Yeah. I like seeing George Washington on the one. I like seeing Andrew Jackson, on the 20. I like seeing who we got here. We got Abraham Lincoln on the 5.
Boy, they don't change their money very often, eh? Like the Franklin, Lincoln, Washington. They haven't. Yeah.
Cool. And guess what? It's all the same size, so it all fits in your damn wallet. When you buy a wallet, it fits in there without overhanging.
Ours is
That's
the
a
same
nice
size.
feature.
Canadian money's the same size, isn't it?
No.
It is.
No?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's all big. It's all too big to fit in a standard
Oh.
wallet.
Oh, okay.
But you
But
can
a
tell them
$20,
apart, at least.
but a Canadian 20 is the same size as a Canadian 5. Europeans have like Europeans have like little euros for 5, bigger and bigger. Like you're supposed to be able to tell the difference between and they have Braille on them. I don't even, God, it's been so long.
When you
since
buy
I've-
a wallet on Amazon, they fit American money.
Okay.
Japan's got another problem. All the bills are different sizes.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in Japan, and all the bills are different sizes. So they have a different. You can tell just like you're not mixing them up by having a different size cut in one of the piles.
What country had hyperinflation? Was it Zimbabwe or was it
Zimbabwe, Weimar, Germany, the two.
Yeah, Zimbabwe. Can you imagine if Zimbabwe had different size bills, and the bigger the currency, the bigger the bill? Remember when they had their $1 billion bills? You'd have a big sheet of
$1 trillion
paper
bills.
that you'd be trying to fold.
Trillion.
Did they have a trillion? They went all the way up to
They had
trillion.
$1 trillion banknote.
Wow.
Imagine that. It'd be like the tent that covers your house when you get fumigated.
Jesus. Wow.
Okay. Big 420 says we need an East Coast tanker ban, equality across the Great Land.
No, you're talking to a guy who's been promoting that. I mean, the tanker
You've
ban.
been promoting a tanker ban on the East Coast?
No, I've been
that's
no,
news for me.
No, he didn't say what did he say? Oh no, I'm the opposite. We don't need any tanker bans. No tanker bans. Yeah, we need an East Coast. No. I misread that. 0 tanker bans. Yeah,
but what if they banned Saudi oil from coming in on the East Coast? No tankers.
Okay, well then that would work. That would have a positive advantage. Then Quebec would have to buy its oil from Alberta. I guess that could. Never thought of that. I could promote equality and become yeah. Yeah,
I'm with you though, Marty. Like I'm not going to go against my principles and advocate for something that I disagree with just to have a political win. I hate that. I fucking hate that.
Yeah,
for the F-bomb.
Yeah, we have a tanker ban in British Columbia, and the waters there are no more dangerous than the Strait of Gibraltar or the Strait of I always forget the name of the strait, but when you enter into when you go from the Mediterranean into the Black Sea to go to Istanbul, you go through a pretty important strait there, and I think it's one of the busiest straits in the world, and it's got like 5,000 tanker vessels a year that go through there, and lots of places do it fine. So,
well, on Vancouver's coast, if you just look with your binoculars, you'll see us Americans floating right by with our tankers.
Yeah, you're just off into international waters, but yeah, we can see you.
It's so ridiculous.
Myron's gifted 5 Cloud to Something memberships.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That's great.
A long time since we've seen memberships given out.
Yeah, that's a thing. Maybe we should get back on that.
So how does that work? So when he gifts them like that, does that mean that whoever just bought a membership gets theirs discounted, or does it give it to somebody who was in line? It has to be somebody who it replaced, or do you choose who you give a membership to?
I don't know if you choose who you give the membership to. You gift them out, and then I think they go up for grabs for people who are active in the chat or whatever. I think that's how I thought it works. And then if people are offered it, they can accept or decline.
That's kind of what I think it is. Yeah. So Myron is obviously chatting with people, and maybe that's why. So if the chit chat gets popular again, then you meet somebody and you gift them a membership. Thank you. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. Myron's for 10 says, much as I am apparently not supposed to say it, Day and Ross Transport does the same thing. They love the subsidies from the trash they hire. So the temporary foreign workers and LMI.
Yeah. Oh, it's endemic. I mean, there's a business here near where I live. I live near Cochrane, Alberta, and there's a business that does that builds trusses for roofs, right? And they have a reputation of not hiring any of the local guys, and nobody would even apply there. And then I went and looked. You can go to the website to see where these labor market surveys are done, and that company is terrible for that. Like I can see on the website that they have about 30 employees that are temporary foreign workers, which is complete bullshit. There's no way that locally in a small community like mine, there aren't people who can swing a hammer and build trusses. But they're doing something crooked, right? They basically get away with paying. They get the government to subsidize their wages, and then they pay cheaper. Yeah, it's.
Well, in fact, in most cases, it's the opposite. You have a lot of people that are looking for work and can't find it. And then you see these companies that say, oh, we had to do the labor impact assessment so that we could get employees because nobody's applying. And it's like, yeah, this doesn't add up. When unemployment is this and people are saying they're willing to work and you have temporary foreign workers and you're getting discounted wages, this stinks. Just pay them what they're worth, pay a market value. You want us to pay a market value for your product. Why don't you pay a market value for the labor and pay the local people?
Yeah, and in this instance, it seems especially fishy when you're providing a piece of a house and the housing industry is booming and everybody's scrambling to build more houses. So yeah, something's wrong there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know from my experience, it's odd as a Canadian. I know I'm Asian, but Canadian, and you go to workplace and you're the foreigner. So, like that really turns off a lot of Canadians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
Note not toys, 1364 for $40.
Not enough toys. You're not enough toys. No. No, it's almost like no naughty toys or not all the time. Yeah, not naughty toys or something.
I'll get that for like 5 minutes. Happy belated birthday, Clyde Marty. Enjoy your move.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so. I got the dyslexia as well, man. Don't sweat it.
Well, that reminds me that kind of joke reminds me of the Saturday Night Live skits where they spoofed Jeopardy. You know how Jeopardy's got the questions, and one of the contestants is Sean Connery, who can't read, and Sean Connery picks a category instead of album covers, he'll be like anal bum covers.
Yeah. There was a good one. It was therapists, and he read it as the rapists.
Yeah. Or le tits now instead of let it snow.
Yeah. It's a French term, Trebek.
Yeah. the penis mightier.
Yeah. The pen is mightier.
The penis mightier. He's like, it's like, it's the pen is mightier. He's like, that's what your mother said last night, Alex.
That was great.
She wrote in the snow with my handwriting or whatever. Yeah. Oh
God. That's great.
Okay, Mr. Roscoe Pico for $6.99. Driving across Canada, I woke up on the hood of a 1967 Cadillac in a farm field with a bison 3 foot away from me.
Oh, there's more to the story, terrifying. I'm sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's something that I learned recently. I didn't know is that people say buffalo all the time, and there are no buffalo in North America. Buffalo is actually another animal altogether, and they're from Africa. They have the water buffalo and a bunch of different buffalo types. But people say buffalo when they mean bison. And bison is the animal that used to roam North America in enormous, what would you call them?
Herds. Enormous herds.
Yeah.
But
buffalo, I don't know where the word buffalo came in there. I don't know how that came in because it's not accurate to what the animal actually is.
Probably a term brought in by somebody at some point. It caught on though. I mean, not gonna lie.
They named a city after it.
Yeah, I use the term. I know it's plains bison and wood bison. There's the two major species of bison in Alberta. But I'm one of those people who generally uses the term buffalo. I use that term.
Yeah, I use it all the time as well. But I didn't know that that's not accurate, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They've been reintroduced here. That's something I look forward to. There's huge herds of them in pens and in fields and whatnot, but they've been reintroduced in Jasper National Park, apparently fairly successfully, and they're sort of in the interior, and it's on my bucket list. I want to go and hike and try and find where the buffalo are inside the park. I think that'd be pretty cool to stumble on a herd of buffalo in the wild. Christ, that'd be
Just
that'd
don't
be awesome.
stumble on one like that other guy in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Rowan's just pointing out Gary Larson for the far
Gary
side.
Larson, yeah.
He's on top of it.
Thank you.
Javon Jen, 69.99. Yeah. Anyone who heard about the crane going over the Wapiti Bridge south of Grand Prairie, Alberta? They have finally been able to recover the body of my friend and a fellow crane operator. The incident happened June 16th. No cause has been determined.
Javon, I mean, just make an additional comment. Give us more details. Like, don't have to make it a super chat, but was it it's the Wapiti River. So that's the river. When you leave Grand Prairie, you cross the Wapiti River's the southern border, and then you're onto Highway 40 heading into Grand Cache. Was the accident? Did the accident happen while they were doing a lift, or did the crane go off the bridge while it was traveling on the bridge? Otherwise, I haven't even heard about this accident. Shitty.
No, I heard nothing. Yeah, I'm so sorry for your friends.
Well, Yuji, maybe find a quick story. Maybe there's a story on it. Just see what it. If you find one.
Yeah, let's see, where was that? Grand Prairie.
That's a dangerous road. I traveled that road. I lived in Grand Prairie, folks, so I'm familiar with the area. And
is it a hectic road, or
it's a super busy road, man? Everybody, like, Grand Prairie is up north, and then you have the Wapiti River, and once you cross the Wapiti, now you're into the sort of the crown land where all the oil and gas and drilling activity occurs. So every day it's like a mad rush to leave Grand Prairie, and everybody's heading over the Wapiti and then onto Highway 40. And then I literally, that's where I just come back from. I mean, I was in a little bit south of there, but I was in Grand Cache last week setting up my my hunting camp. Know that area extremely well.
Okay.
There's actually
any stories on it, Eugene?
Just looking at Grok, it says June 16th, a 300-ton crane truck operated by a worker crashed through the guardrail of the Wapiti River.
Okay, so he got skidded off the bridge. Holy shit, man! Yeah. That's
50 feet. Driver was trapped and submerged in the crane.
A 300-ton crane is a huge piece of equipment, man. Like, that's a piece of equipment that was on its way to do a big lift for some big construction. I mean, we see those kinds of cranes here all the time.
Are those like the low boys that sit really close to the road when you're driving them? And they have
like usually a 50-ton crane is something that have like 10 wheels, right? Like 4 at the front and 6 at the back.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, where they have that like cab over sort of design.
Yeah, big giant off-road crane heading somewhere to an oil field. Like, if a crane like that would be used to lift a compressor on site. Let's say typically oil field companies are installing a 5,000 horsepower engine on a compressor. Well, you need a crane that can lift about 350 tons, and especially if it's a little bit out there. So that's sad. That's terrible. Yeah, that highway's
so
famous.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, been some nasty accidents there over the years.
Yeah, Carlene Campbell for 279. No comment, but thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And then we got one Niska for $5.
His signature's on the
Niska, yeah.
Yeah, Trump's signature on the $100 bill now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they're
I can't wait to see the 250 bill. If I can get my hands on one, I'll frame one. I'll put it on the wall.
Why would his signature be on a bill? Like, our bills are signed by the governor of the Bank of Canada. So why would Trump's? I guess it's just.
Are they signed by presidents? Let's have a look. I can't see that signed by.
Yeah, I don't know. It won't let me zoom in, but yeah, it looks like there's Trump's signature on the bills.
Yeah, these are all different signatures.
Interesting.
Even two $1 bills are signed by different people.
Yeah, ours are all signed by the.
So that's the treasurer of the United States. Yeah, these are all treasurers. I think it says treasurer. Yeah, I don't know why Trump would be signing a bill. I know that they introduced the $250 bill for the 250. It's like
Hey, yeah,
a
you were there
special
for that. Did you
signatory
get
bill.
there in time for the 250? Like, were you there for July 4th?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
got to see
Yeah.
fireworks somewhere, and
Got to see fireworks in my town, and we got to go see the locals, and we got to hang out and have a hot dog, and the kids got to see it for the first time. We made it just on the 4th, which is awesome. And my birthday's on the 5th, so we were able to take possession of our place on my birthday. I was really excited about that. That was great.
My Rolls for 10 says Dan Ross eliminated my position for almost 12 years, or of almost 12 years to replace me. Yeah. Worked there for 12 years and got kicked out.
Oh, that's trash, man.
Yeah.
Trash. And the sad part too is a lot of these like immigrants, they come over, they work for a company, and these companies, they use them up for what they're worth on this like visa program. And as soon as they're eligible for immigration, they just like, you're a citizen or whatever, get out of here, go work for somebody else, right? So they make this like mill to bring in new people to increase the unemployment, while telling the government we need more people, we don't have enough people. It's disgusting. And Democrats are trying that here in this state, and mark my words, man, I'll be at the legislature. I'll be down at the Congress building saying, no, I watched this happen in Canada where I grew up, and
Yeah.
you're not doing this here. You're
Actually,
not making it happen here.
Sort of weirdly related to this topic, Canada Day was July 1st, and here in Alberta, the leader of the opposition is a guy named Naheed Nenshi. And Nenshi on Canada Day made a big deal of saying that he reaffirmed his Canadian citizenship, but he's a born Canadian. So people went and looked into it, and it's like, why would you feel the need to reaffirm your Canadian citizenship if you were born in Canada? So it was all a big giant virtue signal. But then I went and looked into it. It's like, holy shit, you could literally pledge an allegiance to the king if you want to. If you decide to reaffirm your Canadian citizenship, you're pledging an allegiance to the king, which is implied if you're born here. I'm like, I'll stick with the implied, which is bad enough, and never mind, am I reaffirming my citizenship? So yeah, no,
I'll never plead allegiance to a king. Never gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, which is something that, which is another reason not to become a politician for me, because once you become a politician, you have to take the pledge, and the pledge, it's a fact. The pledge that a politician takes in Canada is a pledge to the king. It's not a pledge to honor our constitution or something else. It's a pledge to the king, which is like, no, it should be, if you want me to make a pledge, sure, I'll pledge to respect our constitution, which explains a lot. Like, it's subtle, but it's legit. I mean, our constitution was abused during COVID, and it's not a crime because they did not pledge to protect it. So, yeah.
Our pledge of allegiance is to the flag and to the Constitution.
To the Constitution, yeah, and then I think the presidential oath. That's what Donald Trump or any president pledges when he takes the oath, is to uphold the Constitution above all else.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Above all else,
which is pretty powerful.
And then there's the whole against enemies, foreign and domestic. They can be here.
And then there's Mitch McConnell going.
No, he doesn't even do it himself, man. He's got somebody else doing that for him.
All right, Ben Nuremberg for $2 says Banff, not Jasper National Park, Marty. The bison.
Oh, did I say Jasper? Sorry, no, I knew it. I know it's in Banff. It's.
I didn't even know what S of Yaha Tinda mean.
south of. So
clearly.
Yahatinda is Yahatinda's an interesting place. It's a ranch. It's a big giant ranch that right on the border of Banff Park. It still exists as a ranch and it's still used, but it's not as important as it used to be. Back in the days when all the horses in the national parks were needed, right? Back in the days, they patrolled on horseback. So the national parks used to, including the ones in BC, needed like hundreds, if not thousands, of horses every year. And Yahatinda existed as a ranch just to breed horses and then winter them. So when winter hit, they would move all the horses back to Yahatinda. Today, it's just an interesting ranch, but yeah.
Cool. I love the history of little towns.
Yeah, my rounds for 10. Look up the website from the government that offers 10K per person to hire so-called marginalized people and new immigrants, but only 5K if you're a Canadian.
Yeah.
So we hear like people on the left talking about systemic racism. That's what that is. That's systemic racism.
Mhm.
When you discriminate against people because of the color of their skin on a systemic level and you've made it part of the system, that's systemic racism. Like all this other nonsense that people say is systemic racism that comes out of the colleges is just bullshit. This is systemic racism. They might say, well, it's in response to perceived blah blah. No, this is systemic racism. We were working our way towards egalitarianism, and there's been hiccups and bumps along the way, but we've been working our way towards that. We've been working our way towards, viewing everybody equally under the eyes of the law. And now you're looking at discriminating against people based on the color of their skin, all of these other things. Like,
well, that's same with it's the equivalent to another term is reverse discrimination. I don't care if you put reverse in front of it; it's still discrimination. I mean, if you're only hiring blacks because you don't think you have enough blacks in your business, and you call it, well, it's just reverse discrimination. It's still discrimination. You're not reversing anything. Yeah. The mental gymnastics and the language. Orwell predicted that also perfectly, right? I mean, manipulating language is a real thing. It's annoying. It drives me nuts. And I just come back from up north, and my buddy Norman, his girlfriend is a teacher, and we're just sitting there in the shop talking, and she was telling me like she can't even say special needs. She can't even say special needs. Like a child does. Like I'm like, well, what do you say if it's not special needs? And
that's
it's like
the PC term. That's
not even PC anymore. Now she's like, no, it's a unique learning or something. I'm like, oh my god, like, no, it's okay, whatever. What is he going to bring up?
Yeah, this one came around. Oregon governor signs bill.
I can't read it. It's tiny.
Oregon governor signs bill removing reading, writing, and math requirements for high school graduation to help students of color.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's going to work out fine.
There'll
be no unintended consequences to that, none whatsoever. Yeah. Like that's all a good idea.
Yeah, just don't hire anyone who graduated.
And that's the problem. So they'll try to apply to college. Nobody basically what'll happen is nobody recognizes a high school diploma for anything anymore, and then they'll try to apply for college, and then there'll be this huge discriminatory process. Like they'll look at them and they'll be like, well, they're a black kid, so maybe they just got let through, so we're gonna have to do a whole new like testing system or something like that.
Yeah, but that'd be racist.
And that's the thing. So affirmative action, which was the old thing, was actually shot down by the Supreme Court. It was ruled as discriminatory. It's against the laws that came about because of the efforts of Martin Luther King and these other activists that brought about equality amongst our peers in America. And then they brought in this, and no, the Supreme Court shut it down and said, no, this is anti-egalitarian, and it causes all kinds of more problems. And it's good that affirmative action is gone, because what would end up happening is it would cause more dropouts. And that sounds counterintuitive perhaps for some people, but the thing is, if more people are let into a school because despite having enough aptitude to go to that school, those people have a higher chance of flunking out. So they'll fail more. So if you do that with the black community, for example, then what do you end up with? You end up with more black flunk outs than any other race. And then what do the college people do and the woke people do? They complain that there's more discrimination now than there ever was. And it's like, no, there's more black flunkies because you let more black people in that were not up to the standards for the college, and therefore they flunked out more often. It's a problem. So thank God for the Supreme Court ruling against that, because now more people are apt and everything's just merit based. Unfortunately, it's not happening in high schools. Terrible.
Is it Kevin S says took my friend for a range day today. He had a blast.
I love taking new people for shooting. It's the greatest.
Yeah, that's great.
Marty took the two of us out shooting. That was great. It was the first time I ever got to. It was the first time I ever got to go shooting and actually like holster and shoot and then move around and shoot. And that was a fun experience.
What I like is going to the range with somebody who's really against guns, but has a bit of an open mind, and then move them through a very gradual progression, right? Start with a small little 22 and do this and do that. And I've never failed to win over somebody who comes to the range. They will still say I won't own guns. That's fine. But they will at least come and appreciate the precision, the power, the appeal, and the fact that it can be done safely. I mean, a lot of people just have it as just a fear, right? Just a general fear. And that's what I like to do. If somebody's just afraid of guns and it's an irrational fear because they've never seen a gun, but they're just afraid of them, I can generally get them away from that irrational fear. Probably I probably won't get them to buy a gun, but I can get them away from the irrational fear. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Used to do it at work all the time. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Appreciate it, Marty. Thank you for taking us out.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Marty. Great Fox, 1970. By the way, will you vote against Sharia law in Texas?
Damn right.
By the way, would I vote against Sharia law in Texas? Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, it goes against every principle of individual liberty. So yeah, of course, there shouldn't even be a vote on Sharia law. We should definitely make steps to make sure that people aren't trying to introduce Sharia law in Texas. That's just astronomically backwards. It shouldn't be even going in that direction.
We got Old Biker for $10 says Danielle Smith is implementing digital health card and driver's license to weed out the gimme grits that abuse our healthcare and trucker industries.
Yeah, I mean actually we didn't talk about that today. That is it has that benefit, but then it also has the negative benefit of being one step closer to digital ID and digital currency. And so, I mean, I'm not happy with what's going on. People ask me that, like they said, why would you be upset, Marty, that your driver's license is now your health card and your passport all in one? And I'm like, it's a can of worms. Like, I'm not like, well, it solves maybe one problem, but it opens up the door to too many others. And so I have a tough time with that one. By the way, we didn't talk about this either, but Danielle, we had a little bit of surplus money because of oil revenues are up because of the war with Iran. And so she offered some of that surplus money as a $100 bill. She was going to give $100 to Albertans who qualify. Apparently about 4 million Albertans qualify for that, but we had to apply to get the $100. And in order to apply, you had to get an account and you had to give your whatever social insurance number, blah, 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 blah. And that backfired. There was a report today that only about Yeah, 493,000 people. So just over 10%, 11% of the people who could apply for the money did. So I think I'm proud of fellow Albertans. They saw beyond that. They saw that it was a gimmick to give you to buy maybe votes, like give everybody $100, and there was a gimmick attached with all these conditions, and people saw beyond the conditions. As an example, my daughter talked to me about it. She was curious at first. She went and looked into it, and then she said, "They're going to make me change my address. I gotta go. Because she bought my daughter bought a condo last year, so her address on her driver's license is not the same as the address she currently lives at. And she's like, in order to give me $100, they're forcing me to change my address, and to change my address is they need $9. So I'm like, yeah, so don't keep your driver's license as is for another 3 years until this is expired, and change it then. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a website review? What? Huh?
I'm not sure what you're asking for.
I mean, I guess they have a website. They want you to take a look at it.
Yeah. Okay. If we have a chance.
I mean,
you have to tell us what the website is. I mean,
yeah. Like go to Clyde's website and go to the contact. Send me an email, then I'll forward it along.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We got Studio MQ4 ZPE for $10. Any public servant, RCMP, military, all municipal and provincial police and law enforcement officers, most public servants, anyone in position of government trust, must do the oath to the King Queen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an oath to protect us. It's not an oath to protect our laws. It's an oath to the king.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be
the king who was absolutely against the Magna Carta and was pressured into signing it. A king who's been pressured into everything that was for the purposes of the people. Why would you sign an oath towards the king? Holy crap. This is why the Constitution, and this is why I have it framed in my house, begins with these beautiful words. We the people. Screw royalty, man. Screw royalty all the way. Absolutely.
Yeah. Says Maroon's for 20. Says, it's funny, but when I got out of high school, all I needed on my resume was farm boy, and I got good jobs. Knew how to weld, pull wrenches, lift things, and it came from a background of hard work. Today, not so much.
Well, there's not many farm boys either these days.
I actually just I'll just say this. As a supervisor in the oil patch, I needed a lot of staff, and I had my HR department would hire for me. They would bring me resumes, bring me candidates, and I'll make the final selection. And I became blunt in the end. I'd be like, don't bother going to Toronto. I don't want a kid from Toronto. Don't bother going to whatever Queen's University. I want the resumes of kids from University of Saskatchewan, Thunder Bay in Ontario, whatever. Give me, and they'd be like, why? I'm like, I just want farm kids, man. And you can be a farm kid. You can grow up with a farming background and go get an engineering or a mechanical or a trade. That's cool. But I want a trade from a kid who grew up in that background. I don't care if you came to me and said, and you went to school in Toronto and you told me you're an electrician. Not interested. Just not interested. And then people would say, well, that's kind of discriminating. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But welcome to the real world. I'm hiring and I can choose who I hire. And why would you want to work for me if I don't like you anyways?
It's a risk assessment.
Yeah.
It's a risk assessment, Marty. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're saying like, well, I don't know if I want to put the time and effort into that. Yeah. I mean, risk to, my experience tells me that I'll probably lose out on that bet.
Yeah, exactly. And why would you want to work for me if I don't like you anyways?
Yeah, old biker.
Actually, there's an answer to that question. I've asked people that. Why would you want to work for me? I don't like you. Yeah, but you pay well. It's like, maybe in your little circle of libtards, you guys should find somebody who pays well. So you're admitting that conservatives pay well. Yeah, you guys pay well, but you're assholes. Okay, well.
You're a good guy, Marty.
Yeah. I don't hire anymore, so thank God.
Oh, it sucks. Old Biker 9739 for $10 says the Canadian flag meant something before COVID. Red for communism, white for surrender to the WEF, and the maple leaf stands for Quebec and Ontario, dictatorship over the West.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Our poor
You're not
flag.
kidding.
It's interesting because, in fact, the maple leaf. I will say this: it did start to stand for something pretty good during the trucking protests, right? I mean, it was okay before
Mhm.
COVID. Got abused during COVID. The trucking protests, we all flew our Canadian flags proudly. Now we're back to. In fact, I was just driving down a couple of days ago, and Karen was with me, and Karen's like, "Was that flag upside down?" And I'm like, "You've never seen an upside down Canadian flag?" And she kind of thought it was a mistake. I'm like, no, that's not a mistake. That's a very, very, very political statement. Somebody flying an upside down Canadian flag in front of their house. That just means it's universal for distress. That's the origin of that, right? If you were a boat in distress and your radio didn't work, you flew your flag upside down, and then other passing boat would knew you were in trouble. Well, it's so yes, we are. Clyde, I'm talking to you fly the Canadian flag upside down at your place, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah,
a lot of people would criticize me because I had the American and the Canadian flags behind me in my background for my studio. And people would say, you don't know how to hang a flag vertically because you're hanging the Canadian upside down. Yeah, on purpose. It has a meaning. There's a meaning behind that. There's no distress for the American flag. That's why I flew it that way. The Canadian flag was under distress. And then I ended up opting for the one that I made that was like 2 bars with a 51. I flew that the right way.
Actually, I found out something cool a while ago. Like if you're Canadian and you have your Canadian flag, it's universal. It doesn't matter, right? When it's on your shoulder. Americans, next time you see an American soldier, check their shoulder flag. They have 2 versions of the flag so that they do point the right way. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The star, the stripes should be facing forward.
Yeah.
And that's how I.
Yeah, so when I saw that, the first time I thought, did that guy just make a second version, a second patch? And I was like, nope, they all come like that. They have 2 patches, and they. It's like, oh, interesting.
And then if you fly the flag vertically, you can't just invert it. It has to be specifically a certain way.
Alberta Nan for independence for 279 says only NDP applied. Lol.
Applied to what? What are we talking about here?
What were we talking about? Tim Hortons or
could be anything.
Dan Ross.
Probably Tim
Alberta
Hortons.
Nan.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Oh, and that's it for Super Chats for now.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
it brings us right on time anyways. Yeah, that's cool.
It really does. It really does. Well, thank everybody for coming out. And we're gonna do this next week. We're gonna do it a little bit earlier. So if you're tuning in to the podcast, and that's why I want to bring it. I wanted to bring it up at the beginning because a lot of people watch the beginning. They don't watch it all the way to the end, but some people watch it all the way to the end. They don't watch it from the beginning. So we're gonna do it an hour earlier. We're gonna start off. If you're on the West Coast, maybe from 5:30. If you're
Mountain time.
Mountain time, that would be 6:30, 7:30 Central, and 8:30 if you're in the East. So yeah, tune in an hour earlier next time.
And I know we often get somebody from Mexico. Don't ask me what time it is in Mexico, and definitely don't ask me what time it is in South Africa. Remember, we had that guy who gave us some super chat from South Africa. That's crazy. That's totally crazy.
Yeah, that's something else.
Yeah, and thank you, Myrones, for 5 more gifts.
Very
amazing!
tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Myron Enns was very generous tonight. Thank you. You bet. All right. I have to go to court tomorrow morning. Don't ask.
I won't. I'll ask next week. I won't ask this week.
Yeah. All right.
All right, folks.
Have a good night.
Everybody, have a great night.
Everyone.
And
Cheers.
we'll see you all next week. Hopefully, we'll be in the studio and we'll have everything figured out.